Hey, good morning, everybody. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Doug. I'm the president of Proformance Unlimited. I've been in this industry since 1970 or 1971. My brother-in-law got me off the school bus every day, and I would go to work from 3:30 to 7 o'clock. Back in 1970, when I was first learning this trade, the first thing I would do, my brother-in-law taught me, was I was going to cut in valves. He was called Eddie's Valve Grinding, and he'd do about 17 pairs of heads a day. He would pick them up from all different types of stores, but he was always a hot rodder. My brother-in-law was buying cars from guys that couldn't get them running. A week later, he'd bring them in front of their house and lift the wheels up and make them look like fools. And he became a real professional drag racer, and I traveled with him and worked with him for a lot of years. But again, that starts out like that. Now, then I met Steve when he was about 12 years old. I met him through my stepson, and he went to a fantastic school. They went to a school that was like ROTC, and he wore a Marine Navy uniform. It was only 200 kids in the whole school for 9, 10, 11, and 12, 15 each year. Steve is electronic genius. I tell you, the kid's very intelligent. I've taught him the automotive trade over the years. He's been with me. Oh, I know him since he's 12, like I said, but he's been playing games with me, and we started this business together. We decided he wanted to sell engines on the World Wide Web, and man, I'll tell you what, it took off for all of us. Back when we first started, we were building probably 250, 300 motors a year. We don't want to build that many anymore. Number one, I want to say something about myself. I've never had a rod knock all my life, never. The thing my brother-in-law first told me was engine building is cleanliness, everything, and reading micrometers and getting the proper clearances for where you want them. The other day I had made a video and I had said, hey man, I just finished this motor in a couple hours. And I had a woman comment and says, I would never buy a motor from you. Anybody that builds a motor in 2 or 3 hours don't know what to. Well, she really looked. The short block was done. I did that the day before and I custom painted it. Right now I was going to put the heads and the intake on it and finish it up. It's a couple hours, okay? So I just made a comment, whatever. I don't want to build your motor anyway. If you got that kind of attitude, let me tell you something. No lie. There's a lot of things that got to be done before you bring the block in here. Yes, machine work got to be done. Everything has to be checked, and all pure parts got to be in the door. That's why when you order an engine from me today, you're not going to get that motor for at least 2-3 months. We got to get all the parts. We got to get blocks. We got to get everything machined. When I go back here and grab a block, that block's been machined and perfectly checked. Going to go in the hot tank, and then we're going to paint it. I'm going to bring my crank out. I'm going to mic it and polish it. And that's where we're going today, about micrometers. Very, very important. This is the whole game in this industry, is everything is math. When you start here with a mic, every time you pick up a mic, that mic has a specific measurement. This is a 0 to 1. 0 to 1 means we're measuring from the 0 thousandths to 1 inch. So from 0 to 1,000 thousandths is an inch. We're going to start out. Now I want to cut in one more time on that. Why I decided to do this video today is I was watching the Business Channel. I love watching the Business Channel after work. Check out some stocks, see what's going on. And there's a college in Kansas that is going to start an industry called hot rod performance. They're going to start getting the kids involved in college, learning about restoration cars. You're going to become machinists. You're going to be engine builders, boring blocks, transmissions, building chassis, body work, paint work, taking them from one thing and bringing them. So let me tell you something. That made me feel great that the industry is not going away anytime soon. That's a cool thing for me and Steve. So, and everybody, all these young kids that are interested in cars, where do you go to learn it? You can't. I've only hired a few kids in my time. One of them was a guy, he was an older gentleman. He worked for Pat Musey for years. I had him for 10 or 15 years. He was pretty intelligent. He wasn't a great engine builder at all. But what he was good at was designing camshafts. And me and Steve learned. And he taught us how to design cams, and that's pretty cool. So that was him. Then we had another guy, Paul, another great mechanic. He built my hot rod. He was a really good mechanic. I taught him about engine building and so forth and so on. He went on to own his own business. And I had a few other young guys throughout our history. I now have Q, which is Quentin, and he's learning. We love him. And again, we're going to go back to this. But again, the industry has a lot of depth going to be still in it. We're still in this industry. Number one, this room has everything I need to build an engine. Once I come in here, I have everything. Bolts, cam bearings, freeze plugs, You name it, I got it. Micrometers of all kinds, all different hand tools, degree in camshafts in, all my ring size things. I cut rings with a ring file. So let's go back to the mics. So this one is a 0 to 1. Again, 1,000 thousandths in an inch. Okay? Now, every time we turn this dial, it's 25 thousandths is 1 revolution. 4 revolutions, we get to 100 thousandths. Okay? So that's that. Now when we want to start miking things, now we pick up the next mic. This is a 1 to 2. We start at 1 inch. So whatever we mic in this thing, it already starts at 1 inch. And what are we going to say? This is, you mic it up, say the thing is 325 when we're done on turn this. We've got 1 inch, 325. And the same thing for a 2 to 3. Starts out 2 inch, goes to 3. 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Just to give you an example. Mopar, big block piston. Standard bore, 320. 4 inch, 320. I'm holding a 4 inch mic. And we put this on here, and we get to read it. And this one is reading 4 inch, 345. Well, it's 350 for 30 over. That's telling me this piston has 5 thousandths built into it. If I was to machine that block, I would want to bore that block about 4 thousandths tight, and I would hone it with different size stones to get that thing to be a finish of 4 inch, 350. That'd give me about 5 thousandths clearance on that. Here we go to a veneer caliber. This is a veneer. And again, this is, you want to just check something like this with a veneer. You go like this, it's the same thing. I got 315 thousandths on this one. And this is what I use for push rods right here. This veneer caliber. So I take my push rods in different increments. I'll put them in there. We can roll them out. And then when I have to say what's the length, I need a big ass micrometer, which is the veneer caliber. And I'll know what push rod length I have. If any of my mics are not ready. And now, again, my brother used to yell at me all the time. What did he yell at me for? He would come up with one measurement and I was coming up with another. And he used to go to me, Doug, these are not C-clamps. You got to handle them like a woman, real gentle, till you learn what the real diameter is. And I still school that to Steve. He had a lifter the other day, brand new lifters, $600-700 lifters. All went in the bore except for one. He goes, I keep miking this, it mic's the same. I said, let me see it. When I mic'd it, I said, no, it's 1,000 big. Really? I said, yeah. Like Eddie used to tell me, it ain't a C-clamp. Got to handle it real nice. When I mic'd it, it was 1,000. What did I do? I put grease in the holes of the lifter. I went back to my polisher and I polished it. I took 1,000 off, boom, right in the motor. He goes, wow. I said, yeah, Steve. I said, so that's why I decided to really do this, because, working with Steve, he said, oh my God. I said, yeah, when you're micing stuff, got to be real gentle with them. And these are standards. If a mic comes off, we have to reset the standard in there, put them in there and readjust the mic. I handle most mics. I build every short block. Nobody builds my short blocks. I've built them all for God knows how many years. I've probably built, me and Steve were estimating in the last 25 years, I probably built over 4,000 engines. 4,000 engines. I built for professional football players. I built for rock stars. And I built for the average Joe. I built for kit car guys. I built for racing guys. Guys are going into circle track over the years. I had a motor in a circle track car that was a 10th off the track record. Why? Because he didn't know how to drive the car. When he put a driver that was top class, the car won. That was cool. That was back in New Jersey. Old school out there. I even forget the name. I don't know, Wall Stadium or some shit like that. But again, I'm doing this stuff a long time. If I don't know it, I don't think there ain't too many people that do. I forgot more than most people are going to learn. And I can tell you, I can do everything. Boring blocks, do cranks, do rods, do cylinder heads. Like I said, I started out cleaning valves, cutting them, doing the tips by the bucket full. Then my brother-in-law says, yeah, it's time for you to start putting guides in the heads. I'd machine the guides, hammer them in. They were cast on at the time. I'd break some of them because I was real short on top. He'd yell at me. I'd be putting cam bearings in, make sure they turn. Then I started learning how to hone things. Before you know it, I'm boring blocks. I'm doing everything. Welding, he used to call bird shit. He goes, go put some bird shit on that oil pump. Number one, most oil pumps, if they're a press in, we weld them. Why do we want to weld the screen in? Well, again, if a car's hammering, if it's a race car going up and down, slams down, that screen can move. So we weld all of them. Fords get bolted on, they ain't moving. But anyone that's a pressing, like a Pontiac, an Oldsmobile, or a Chevy, we weld that screen on in place. Of course, then we prime it. I could get into a lot more about this, but again, these are micrometers, these are the trick of the trade. Everything in this business is about a number. And I'll tell you, like I said, with oil clearances, ain't nobody better than this than me. I know every oil clearance there is. I want to make sure which one's gonna, how much something's gonna stretch. You're building a motor, same thing with the deck. How much is that piston gonna move? How much for quench with the valve coming open and closing? There's a lot, but it's all about math. That's why we've been so successful over the years. Again, quality parts. My engines are not the cheapest and they're not the most expensive. We got to get paid for our work. We are very good at what we do. I'm going on 68 years old. Again, a lot of years of doing this. And again, my customers will back me up. My motors run flawless. Steve can tune a motor right at his desk. Once we ship that to you, if it's not carbureted, that is fuel injected, he'll tell you what to do. He'll fire it up, tell you to test ride it, blah, 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 come back, make some adjustments, and you got a happy motor. And a happy motor is a happy customer, and that's why we're always busy. So again, if you call, we can't get your motor tomorrow because it takes a long time just to get the parts per that motor. We got to find a block. We got to make sure the block is good, gets cleaned, gets machined, whole 9 yards. We got to order parts. Sometimes the pistons we get don't work. We got to change the thickness of the gasket. We got to do whatever it takes to get it done. We do a lot of magic around here. Hey, I hope this video helped some of the people. And again, that woman that was telling me she wouldn't buy a motor from me, like I said, I don't think I want to build a motor for her anyway. Because if you're that fussy and tell me I can't build, when you're that good, you can build motors. I say I can build a motor start to finish one day, once I have everything. I go in the back, start to finish. I start at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, 12:30, 1 o'clock. That motor is done and complete and done right. That's the main thing. I don't have too many hands around here. I want to be the main guy, make sure everything. I'm responsible. When I have the young guy learn how to torque heads or put stuff on, he's being taught very slow to do it right. But anybody touching my short blocks? No, that's me. All on me. Hey, happy motoring, everybody. And again, Proformance Unlimited. I think we're #1. Peace.